Hello Fleet, and welcome back to another Captain's Academy episode with Instructor Chase. This episode has been highly requested by a number of people, and it deals with the all-important question, HE or AP, and also where to shoot it. Well, personally, I shoot almost exclusively AP. The only times you'll ever see me use HE is when I'm in my DD, and I've run up against another DD. HE does wonders to wreck their engines, their rudder, their guns, their torpedoes, but if I'm playing anything else, I'm always shooting AP. So of course this brings up the next big question. Well, if you're shooting AP, where do you aim for? The quick and dirty rule is that the areas that do massive damage lie under the gun turrets and under the smokestacks near the waterline. These areas contain the ship's magazine and boiler rooms, and hits there achieve massive damage. However, you do also have to factor in the angle of the enemy ship in relation to your own. Firing at the highly angled parts of a ship will cause your AP shells to bounce, and you will do very little damage. So, another rule of thumb here is to fire at the areas that are the flattest to you. But sitting here and talking about it won't do any of you any good, so let's take a look at a few video clips. In this particular engagement, I am currently driving my Cleveland, and on the enemy side that I'm shooting at is an Omaha. Now, the Omaha has a couple of weak spots, obviously under the gun turrets, and under the chimney stacks. Now, when it comes to this ship, I always shoot for the boiler rooms because the Omaha, first of all, is presenting its side to me, and second of all, the boiler rooms are absolutely the biggest targets to hit because they cover quite a large portion of the ship. I'm going to circle it for you so you can see what I'm talking about right here. Now, if you've noticed, what I'm really trying to do with my AP shells is trying to get them to hit along the waterline. Now, this does lead to misses. Let me put that very clearly. You will miss shots when you're aiming for these weak points because the water line, there's a very thin line there between hitting a critical component and just hitting the water. But as you will see, eventually I do land that massive hit, and I very quickly wipe out more than 50% of this Omaha's HP, and it just ends up being a very easy kill. Now again, as the ships turn and adjust, sometimes your shots won't land where you want, but by this time it won't really matter as I've pretty much already done the majority of the damage that I want. Onto a battleship encounter. So I'm currently driving my tier 6 Fuso, and I've run headfirst into a full health tier 7 Nagato. Now once again, this Nagato has presented its juicy broadside to me, and once again I'm going to be pumping shells into the boiler room area. And I'm going to try to kill this Nagato as quickly as I can because I don't really want to be sticking around in this area, but I also don't want to let this battleship get away with no real damage. So off I go. Engaging a ship from the front is quite different than engaging a ship that is showing its broadsides to you. When you're shooting from the front, what you're really going to be doing is trying to hit the magazines of the guns in the front by shooting through the bow area, as I've circled for you here. And as you can see, if I do this, I can still citadel a battleship even though I'm only using the guns on a heavy cruiser. And finally, the only time you will ever see me use HE ammunition is when I'm in a US destroyer and I'm running into another destroyer. And the reason for using HE and not AP against DDs is very simple. A destroyer depends on its speed to survive. So the best thing about HE ammunition is that it's constantly able to knock out modules. So as long as you can put the shots into the engine room, the DD can never run away from you. And there we go. Just watch me. That was engine gone. He repaired. He got away for a little bit, knocked out his engine again, and very easily I finished him off. And that's the only time I use it. HE, very effective against destroyers. And that's all folks for this episode of Captain's Academy. Hopefully you've now learned how to use AP and HE ammo more effectively. If you like what I'm doing, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel as I'll be uploading more videos in the upcoming days and weeks. Aside from all that, I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of you on the high seas.